What are you doing, man? Shh. Evidently, one of us doesn't know how to
What's
be
up?
quiet during the countdown. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to
What
another
up?
episode 2 of Wide Out's World. I'm Irving Fryer. This is my co-host, Michael Timpson, and my other co-host, tri-host, Fred Barnett. What's up going on, y'all?
Yes, sir.
How you doing,
What's
man?
up? What's
All
up?
right.
Welcome to our world.
Hey, welcome to our world. Yeah.
Welcome to our world.
Look, Mike's
Man,
official.
it was an interesting weekend, brother.
Yeah, Mike's
Oh, so
official. Look at Mike. Mike's official. He's got the
he's
NFL back
painted a
there
picture.
and the logo with the
Working on the
football.
sponsorship. Working on the
Working on a spot.
sponsorship.
No, you ain't getting
Ah,
nothing from the NFL. You
hey, hey, hey,
who you
hey!
trying to get the sponsors?
You better write a check if you got that shield behind it.
Shoot, they might be trying to charge us.
You're right.
What's going on, Steve? Steve Andrews is in the house. What's going on, Steve? Good to see you. Said, what's up, gentlemen? We got 5
All right.
people on already, man. We just look.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
Okay.
waiting
I mean,
on us.
like they were waiting for us. Y'all come on in the
What?
room. Announce yourselves. I don't know if you're
I'm
watching
on in the room.
on. Yeah, come on in the room.
In
I
the
don't know if you're
room.
watching from Millions, or if you're watching from the Fireplace, or if you're watching from Facebook. But y'all come on in the room and let us know you're there. We're gonna do our best, to give you the content that we prepared for you today, based on this week 1 with receivers and teams and all this kind of stuff we have on our agenda today. But we want to do some interacting with you as well. So we're going to take the time out
Mhm.
to do that. If you have any questions or anything like that, again, throw a Q up with a semicolon and ask your question. What's going on, Richard Melton? Yeah, listen, y'all. I just want us to give
He was
Richard.
Mr. Jet. I remember him, Mr.
Do you remember
Jet.
him? I want us to give Richard a hard time because Buffalo is his team.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Buffalo is Richard's
oh,
favorite team. He talks junk about Buffalo, and we're gonna get to Buffalo. At least I am. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Buffalo today. But let me let y'all
oh.
know what our agenda is today. Because I don't want to just do all the talking. These gentlemen have a lot to say today because again, it was a very interesting weekend. Week 1 was very interesting. So these are the topics we're gonna try to cover today. We're gonna talk about the top team of the week, in our opinion. We're going to talk about the biggest surprise of the week, good or bad. We're going to talk about who's the guy, the wide receiver of the week, in our opinion. And we have some experience in the league, 10 years with Mike and 8 years with Fred and 17 with me. And then we're going to talk about the top 5 wide receivers of the week. And then we're going to give a little prediction. I'm actually going to the game. I got a call just a few minutes ago. I got tickets to the game tomorrow night. So we're going to talk
All right.
about
Hey,
Thursday night thoughts and the wide receiver predictions for Thursday night, tomorrow night, the Eagles and the Vikings. So
yes, sir.
so y'all jump off. What's your top team of the week? What is your top team of the week?
Mike, I want to hear you, Mike.
My top team
Yeah,
of the
top
Your
team.
week,
top team.
the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, I'm gonna put you in the
I get
front.
it.
I'm gonna put you front and center, Mike. There you go.
The San
Hey,
Francisco 49ers. You talk about a balanced team.
Oh
San
Lord.
Francisco 49ers is a balanced team. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, picked up where he
yeah.
left off last year, had a very efficient day. They ran the ball well, they passed the ball well, pretty even. I mean, this team is just stacked. When you talk about Christian McCaffrey, you talk about a bona fide tight end, and now you have, to go along with Debo Samuel, you
Mm-hmm.
have Brandon Ayuk
Yep.
coming up big. So I just really like that team. And 30-7 over Pittsburgh, that was to me the top team of the week. San Francisco is here to stay, and I really expect them to be the NFC representative when it comes down to the Super Bowl.
Look at Fred. But
Going all the way there.
Fred, you know what? I have to, you know, I don't disagree with Mike. I don't no, they're the NFC. I don't disagree with Mike because I was impressed with Purdy last year. He got hurt in the NFC Championship game versus the Eagles. And people, you know, they were touting or complaining that if it had not been that way, if he hadn't got hurt, that the 49ers would have beaten or defeated the Eagles. But I'm impressed with Purdy. I liked him last year. He's got a lot of moxie. He's got a lot of swag, and he's a good quarterback. He's young, I guess, because he's young. Nobody knew him. They didn't want to give him his props. But I saw him this weekend how they played, and yes, they are a good team. They're not. I don't think they're going to represent the NFC. I don't think there's a lot of people who say they're going to make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl this year. But I can't disagree with Mike. They were one of the standouts this weekend.
They were one of the standouts.
Yeah, one of the standouts.
Well, here's you know what? My top team of the week.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the team that scored the most points, and the team that didn't allow any points. You know what? It's the Dallas Cowboys. Wait.
I hate her. I hate you.
I hate saying that, but I love saying it. You know why? Because this is what Dallas do. You know, they come out, you know, when you run the 100 meters and you're in that first heat, nine times out of 10, the guy who's going to win the meet never comes in first in the first heat. So, of course, Dallas, you know, record time, first heat. Of course, they playing the Giants. But, you know, shame on the Giants for getting just drugged, you know, in a home opener 40-0. But at the same time, too, Dallas needed to do exactly what they did. But they did exactly what they needed to do to score the most points and not even allow a point on the board. And I absolutely love it because what they're doing, and all they're doing is really hoodwinking their fan base. You know, now everybody's saying they're going to the Super Bowl. You know, they scored 40 points, didn't allow you know, a point. So, you know, they're the top team in the league now. So congratulations. And we'll see you you know, the middle of the season, by the end of the season, see what happens. but Dallas Cowboys, Cowboys are my top team. They're 40-0, my top team.
I mean, he had to pick someone. That's not a bad pick. You know, they played well.
Well, it's a fugazi. That's why I didn't pick them, because it's a false representation, like you said, Fred. It's something that happens early.
This week.
Yeah, but they're not. That was.
But it's the first week with everybody, so we gotta keep it in perspective. It's the first.
I thought
week.
We said the top team of the week.
For you, the top
it's
team.
Still
of the
the
week.
first week.
Yeah.
It's still the first week.
But see, my team, the top team of the week, is a team that's going to remain and be touted as, you know, more than a few times as we do this every week. They're going to be the team of the week, I'm sure. My team is the Miami Dolphins, and not because they set records, man. Week 1, Tua set records. What is it? Let me read this. Let me get it right now. They played the Charger. First of all, the defense held Justin Herbert to 288 yards, 228 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's a great job. That's a great job. That cat is a phenomenal quarterback. He can chunk it. They can score, but they didn't do that against the defense of the Dolphins. Dolphins have a formidable defense. They have a legit defense. Tua, 466 yards passing, 3 TDs. The passing yards are the third most passing yards since Super Bowl era in the first game of the season, opening game, which topped only Tom Brady, 517 yards in 2011, and Dan Marino with 473 yards in 1994, which I got 211 of those yards. Remember that, Mike? You was playing for the Bears. Wow. You was like, what in the world was you doing?
It was not the Bears. It was the Patriots.
Were you?
The first
no, it was playing against, but you were playing for the Bears at the time, and we were having a little contest to see who catch more balls during the season.
No, I was not. I was with New England.
You were still with New England?
We played down in Miami.
When I got 211 yards, you were still with New England?
Yeah, 5 touchdowns?
No, I had 3.
Okay, three touchdowns.
All right, I just had 3.
I scored a touchdown, so that's why
I thought you were gone. I thought you left New England the same time I left New England.
I know you thought, but you was wrong. I
Dang,
was
it was a
there.
long time ago, man. Okay, I was wrong.
Doggone it.
400, okay, skip me. Don't condemn me. 466 yards passing is the most in a game against the Chargers in NFL history. Two of them cats are setting records. Last season, week 2, Tua threw for 469 yards, 6 TDs. That's why he's going to continue to be one of the top teams. And Tyreek Hill setting records, 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 TDs. Man, nobody can stop this cat. 215 in week 1 is the second most in Super Bowl era. Just
it's a good
2 yards shy of Anquan Bolden's 217. Now, what'd you say?
I just need him to stay upright until he gets hit and bounces back up. The jury's still out as far as the
Well, you can't hit what you can't catch.
No. I'm saying in terms.
Oh,
of
you mean Tua?
Tua staying healthy.
Yeah.
Well, we know that, and they're
right.
they're a team that is in the run to win the AFC conference as long as Tua stays healthy.
If Tua stays healthy, with what I think Kansas City has, regardless of a Super Bowl win, and what Cincinnati has, there's no way. I think Miami would definitely represent the AFC.
Right, but you know what?
No doubt about it.
That's the same story for most teams. I would say 85, almost 90% of the teams in the NFL, if they lose their starting quarterback, i.e. the Philadelphia Eagles, if they lose Jalen, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
They got Marcus Mariota as the backup quarterback. What? Hopefully, prayerfully, he never has to come in a game of meaning and win that game for the Eagles, because if that happens, the Eagles are going to be in trouble. And that's the same for a lot of teams.
And unfortunately, you can't say that about every team, because there are about 10 teams who, if they stay healthy, they won't do nothing.
Well, I meant the teams that have a chance.
We're still not doing nothing.
Still not
if
doing
we all
nothing.
stay healthy.
but these teams, a lot of these teams, like Miami, if they lose their starter, in other areas too, they lose their starters, they're in trouble. They're going to suffer. They're going to make a big dent in their ability to produce, whether it's defensively or offensively. That's just the game we play now because of the money.
Their backup quarterback, or Skylar Thompson, came in last year and he played well in Tua's absence.
I agree, he did, and the cheetah kept running down the field and catching balls. So it's not in every case, but I think, but with Tua as well, the production's not the same. It's not going to be the same. He's a special guy. He's a special guy. Mm-hmm. So those are our top teams, y'all, for the week. I see Lewis, what's going on? Warren Hutchinson. Yes, Fred Barnett said it right. Cowboys always hot at first, then just cools off when the real ones are starting to heat up. That's right, Warren. You got it right. Cowboys. Can I tell you what the Cowboys are? COWBOYS. COW, Cowboys, BOYS. Can't operate with bums on your squad.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You spend your time doing what in the world?
You like that, don't you?
How long did it take you to figure that out?
That was a while. It took a while. I figured I did that last year, but what? That's good.
The one thing about it, win or lose, the Cowboys still them boys.
Still them boys.
They still them boys.
Can't operate with bums on your squad.
Well, for the first week, they did what they needed to do. Got to give them props for the first week.
Yeah. They played better than a lot of teams did first week, and we'll get to some of that. Richard Melton, I see you again. Vinny Capriati, what's going on? Y'all stay in the house. You got any questions again? Mrs. Fryer isn't going to be happy. My wife, did I tell y'all my wife is a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Fred left. What's going on, Keenan? I see you, bro. Yeah, I know. Listen, I didn't find out until after I said I do. I had to honor my vows, though.
The COWBOY, you got to pay for that.
No, I'm not, because I tell her that all the time.
So you didn't find out until y'all got married?
Yeah, I didn't find out until.
Oh, she was like, by the way.
Well, she didn't really know, even though she grew up in the town next door or right next to where I grew up. and she's in the class behind me. She really didn't know who I was because I never played for the
okay.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm still trying to convince her that I played football at a professional level and was pretty good at it. She still don't believe me.
Yes, I'm trying to convince some of my kids I did, and they like, whatever.
So let's look at the biggest surprise of the week, fellas. Good or bad? Your your biggest surprise. What when you looked at it, you saw it, or you went back and saw it? Because I didn't get a chance to see all the games this week. It's it's tough, man, trying to watch everything. We got to figure out a way to get to NFL Films and get some film sent to us or something, man, because it's tough watching everything. I try to watch. Do you try to watch that? What show is it where they show all the games? The Red Zone.
Red Zone.
Yeah, man, that gives me a headache. too much going on.
But it serves the purpose. It serves the purpose. You get a little bit of look at every game. So it helps.
Get the highlights. My wife said moving on. She said move on.
Yeah.
She said move on.
So I'll start. I got 3 big surprises, and of course you probably got close to the same thing. One player, man, Josh Allen. I'm just dumbfounded. Of course, I know I got a lot of buddies who are Buffalo fans, and for him to come out and play like he played, I think was a big disappointment. And of course, we could see it on his face as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 interceptions to the same guy.
Same guy.
I mean, it's like I mean, maybe he's the guy's agent, but I mean, the way he played, I think really is a testament that this is a hard league, man, and they've been giving him praise for years and years, and since he's been in the league, and just to see him at this point, with some of the success that he's had in the league, just to see him do what he did against pretty good defense, and it was a pretty tough atmosphere, but at the same time too, I think that she should have been more equipped to handle that. And that's the individual that I think was a big surprise to me. It was a big surprise. It was a big surprise for with the Bengals and the Browns. I was just dumbfounded to see the Bengals just get basically handled by the Browns. It is interesting. And I also, of course, thinking Jets and Buffalo at the same time too. What's interesting? It goes back, Irv, to the point, and Mike, to the point that we made about training camp. It's very interesting because I think I'm seeing something that's beginning to be a little more consistent when the season starts, and that is, I feel like when the preseason or training camp is not as intense.
Yes, sir.
There's a slow start.
Well, you can't hit the ground running. You can't hit the ground running.
It's a slow start. Now, what's interesting is that somebody has to win the game. But when you got guys sitting out, when you got Jalen Hurts not playing a single game in the preseason, and then he just jumps in the game, of course, here's a team that we think we're going to win by 21 points, and the Patriots, they could have easily almost won that game. So, and I think about the Bengals and the Browns, of course, the Buffalo and the Jets, and even Josh Allen, getting off to a slow start. I think year after year after year, the training camps are not as intense. I can remember when I looked forward to the game because the daggone practice was harder than the game.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, let me just get to Sunday.
Fred,
let me get out of training camp and get to the season because I'm good now.
Right,
I'm good.
Fred, when you talk about the Eagles, we're talking about the Eagles. None of them, nobody, none of the receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, none of the linemen except for the right guard, which is Cam Jurgens. None of them played one snap during the preseason. Not one snap.
How do they expect to come in and dominate? Because here's the deal. You have to understand, too, here's a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. Okay. So Anybody you play, and we know anybody that you're going to be faced up against, they're coming after you.
Got a target on your back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, y'all went to the Super Bowl last year. We'll show you something.
Right.
And I think that's what we saw with the Eagles this year. I don't want to get turned off on the Eagles, but I think the surprises that I saw was really a testament, in my opinion, to the preseason and the training camps. And I think they're going to get easier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The training camps are going to get easier.
Mama said hi, everybody. And
Hey, Mama.
And I see there was someone else that I missed. Oh, Clifford. Yeah, Clifton Freeman. Reverend Freeman. He's Reverend Freeman. Y'all be careful.
Reverend Freeman.
Yeah, good friend of mine. Mike, surprise?
I defer to you. I want to hear yours first.
You want to hear mine first? Well, I kind of to a certain
extent. Mike not going to copy. You're not going to copy off of you, Mike.
Well, it's okay because I agree. That was one of my surprises in the negative side was Josh Allen and the 3 interceptions. And the other point to that is this: when you have a man down, it was even more surprising that he played as bad as he did after everything changed and Aaron Rodgers went down. Now we got him. Now we got him. They're going because the Jets had to make an emotional adjustment. They had to come to grips with all of this that they expected of themselves through this one guy, Aaron Rodgers. 4 plays into the game, he is out. And he's not just out, but he's out for the season. So it's not just he's out for the game. They know he's out for the season. So there's an adjustment they're having to make emotionally to just be able to continue in the game. You got him down. You got a man down. You put your foot on his neck. And Josh Allen just did not show that killer instinct to be able to take advantage of the situation that had turned in his team's favor. So I was surprised that he played, and everybody touts him as one of the top, 3 or 4, even maybe 5 top quarterbacks in the league. But man, that's not what he's showing me. That's not what he showed me. That's not what he showed me last year. That's not particularly what he didn't show. He didn't show me that this past weekend. And I'm really, really disappointed. And I'm really, really eager to see how they're going to move forward. Now, the other surprise for me was in that same game was how Zach Wilson came in. Didn't necessarily play well, hadn't been playing well. That's why they brought in Aaron Rodgers, because they really didn't believe in Zach Wilson. But Aaron was supposed to come in and do like Joe Montana did with what was a lefty in San Francisco when Steve Young, play and then teach him while he's there so he could take over later. So that's what the plan was. But now Zach comes in because Aaron's down. So Zach is going through an emotional roller coaster. But he was able to keep himself together enough to be able to do enough, particularly at the end of the game. He threw that pass to Garrett Wilson, which, that cat there, I don't think he was.
Oh, come on.
Did you see the catch?
Yes, but that wasn't a great pass. You're not giving credit to
I said he was able to. I didn't say it was a great pass. I said he was able to throw the ball. I didn't say it was a great pass. I said he was able to get himself together enough to throw the ball, keep himself together enough to get that ball to Garrett Wilson. And what a catch. That was like the catch of the week.
Because Garrett Wilson, what do they tell us? What do they tell us as receivers? When a ball is in a funny situation, you got to play DB. He was playing DB.
Right, but he tipped it to himself. He was trying to swat it away and tipped it up and kept it to him. It was a great play.
It was a play.
Well, what's interesting, and I thought at this point, while I actually watched the game. And the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
That kind of blows my mind. And then one of the commentators said, and I think he quoted Zach, and he said he didn't feel as much pressure now, which was great. I'm like, what? Isn't that what it's all about?
Right.
I mean, when I first stepped foot on an Eagles practice field, all I felt was pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And that pressure that I felt to make the team put me in a position to work hard as I could to make sure that I was still on the team once the last cut was made.
Mm-hmm.
And every year after that, I had, whether the system put pressure on me, whether the team put pressure on me, or me putting pressure on myself, you need pressure to succeed in my opinion.
To perform. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for
let me
a
ask you
kid
this
for a kid to
before I
say,
get to my
the pressure's off me now, so you're just going to relax and be a backup for the next 10 years? Maybe that's what he wants.
Wow.
Maybe
So
that's what
here's
he
my
wants. But
question.
it blows me away
Here-
for somebody to say, "Hey, that's now the pressure's off, so I'm in a comfortable space."
What'd you say, Mike?
Kidding me?
so I want to ask you a question before I get to my surprise.
Well, I'm not finishing mine. Let me finish my thought first,
Oh, I'm
then
sorry.
you
Go
can
ahead.
ask the question. I'm just want to finish up with the Jets and how they were able to hang in there. Okay, again, like we talked about, the emotional roller coaster, and win in overtime with special teams. That was impressive to me because of the whole situation. Now it's going to be interesting to see because Aaron's not going to go back to Green Bay. He's going to stay here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
He's going to help coach Zach Wilson, and let's see
Yes.
how because they put Aaron Rodgers, they put his offense in. That's what they're doing now. That's what they're running now. The Jets are running Aaron's offense. They're not going to go back and switch to anything now. They got to keep moving forward with that offense. And now Aaron Rodgers is going to be coaching Zach Wilson. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can continue to make steps forward. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So here's my first question before I get to my surprise. Do you see Zach Wilson being the quarterback for that team moving forward?
I
don't
think
like
so.
what you
saw. You like
I
what you
think
saw.
so.
Is
I
he
think
the
so.
quarterback?
Well, I think so because they're in a different way. They're getting what they planned on getting in the first place, meaning Aaron Rodgers was supposed to come and play for a couple of years. Aaron wasn't going to play 5 years. He's going to play a couple, maybe 3 years, and Zach would be groomed by Aaron as Aaron phased himself out and they brought in Zach Wilson. Now, they drafted him high. Was he first round draft choice a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
he has ability. He just hasn't developed that ability yet. So now I think he's going to develop because Aaron's there. It's not like Aaron's on some other team. He's got a Hall of Fame quarterback to help to develop him.
That, you can't say that.
I can't say what.
I mean, there's a possibility.
Aaron's going to pour into him and help him develop.
But he still has a play in it. It's not a check, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's not a checkers game. He's not just going to move him around. This kid, I think this kid, in my opinion, is really an emotional wreck.
He might be.
I'm serious, and I hate to be critical about it, but if you haven't proved anything, but I see some of the when Rodgers went out, I watched some of the passes that he threw.
Right.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You've been in the league this long and you can't throw a simple out route? You're grounding an out route?
Right. He
struggles.
There's no doubt about that. He struggles.
There's some kids, there's some young guys who come in the NFL, and of course we all know, and a lot of people don't realize that when you leave college and come to the NFL, it is a different level of play. It's a totally different level of play.
Yeah.
And I've seen some guys that come from small schools, they turn it up and they adjust. And I've seen some guys come from Big Ten schools, SEC, and they can't handle them.
Can't handle it.
They cannot figure it out.
Mose Knows said yes, Zach was the number 2 overall. Yep.
And let me say that I don't see him being there.
Okay.
Because I just don't see him progressing. I think Rodgers. I think Rodgers probably going to get frustrated with him because I think he's in his own head.
Well, he is going. But Rodgers is going to be trying to mentor him, trying to help develop him.
Oh yeah,
now
of course.
I didn't say he will turn into this great quarterback. I'm just saying this is what's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see if he continues to develop into a good quarterback.
And then another point too is that he'll be there based on what the Jets are looking for.
Right.
So if the Jets are looking for a playoff quarterback, he's not going to be there.
Well,
that's my opinion. He's not going to be there.
There's an opening. Maybe Tom Brady will come back again. Maybe Tom Brady will come back again.
I mean, even let's think about the situation last night. You got your number one guy. First of all, they bring in another guy.
Uh-huh.
They bring in another guy at your position.
Right.
You're on the bench.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That guy goes down. Why not at that point say, you know what? It's my time.
My time. Yeah, that's what you're supposed
It's
to do.
my time.
That's what you would do. That's what I would do. That's what
It's
Mike would
my
do.
time.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I got it. Let me show you.
Right.
But
He's not sure.
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
He's not
He ain't
sure.
ready.
Carson Wentz. It's Carson Wentz.
Hey,
That's who's coming. That's who's coming. I'm giving it
You
5
think Carson Wentz can't? He's a head case. He'll never make it in New York, man.
But is he a better option than Zach Wilson? Yes, or no?
Probably, yeah. But,
I think
but,
so.
I'm done.
But he'll just
I'm done.
he'll make his mistakes won't be as big. I should say they won't lose by as much.
Okay. Well, all right. Here's my surprise. Surprise is
Wait a minute. We got Stephen
I'm sorry.
Baker. We got Stephen Baker, the touchdown
The
maker.
touchdown
Watch
maker.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker's on right now.
I'm getting ready to get on
Hey,
his
that's my
Giants.
boy.
I'm getting ready to
What's
get on
up,
his Giants.
Stephen Baker? My man.
I'm getting ready to get on his Giants.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike. I'll give you the
Biggest
screen.
surprise, that stinker from the Giants. I was just totally blown away. I got my chips and my dip ready. Sunday Night Football. Oh, I'm singing the theme song, the whole 9 yards. And I go out here before you know it, it's 16-0. I'm like, what in the world? And before you know it, halftime, 26-0.
Wow.
The Giants just didn't come to play at
No.
all. That was the biggest surprise to me. I'm thinking my boy Saquon Barkley, Penn State, ready, and they just stunk up the joint. And here's the other thing about the Giants was a surprise. Everybody's talking about Daniel Jones. I'm putting him in the same category as Zach Wilson. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about Daniel Jones. So they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle, and that was a big surprise for me. Now, here's my other surprise, which was the biggest surprise of the entire first week, was Aaron Rodgers. Now, not wishing anything bad on any player, but that to me was a big surprise as much as a letdown, because we were all hyped up to see him play.
Right.
And I believe that he would have played well. But I want to make that point to the points that you guys made before. Training camp is not the same as it was. What the point is, I remember looking at it last year. The first third of the season, there were a lot of injuries.
A lot of soft tissue
And I
injuries.
believe a lot of that is attributable to these guys are not working out in training camp like we were accustomed to doing. So their body's not ready. So mark my word, this third of the season, the first third of the season, you're going to see a lot of injuries.
Right.
Their bodies are not tuned up. They like you said, the one Philadelphia, excuse me. You said nobody played. That
Nobody
goes
on
wrong.
offense, right.
That goes a lot in the NFL now. Guys are not playing. And remember now, Aaron Rodgers, the leg that he had, the Achilles injury, that's the same leg that he had the calf injury.
Calf injury, yeah. Yep.
That's the same leg.
Wow.
So now imagine he's not working out because he had that injury. They already don't do very much.
Right.
And now
right.
you come and you put it under strain
Right.
in a game.
With a guy falling on you.
I'm surprised. Yeah, there you go. Something's going to go.
It was
So
great
I see-
cinematography. Did you see it when they showed it in slow motion? You could see it ripple.
Yes.
You could see his Achilles ripple, man. It was
I
unbelievable.
saw the play live, and I was like, "Oh, is his ankle?" I thought it was his ankle because I saw it just his
but
foot
it didn't
just bend,
twist.
and I was like, "It's
It
his
didn't
ankle."
twist. He just got up on his toe and it
Yeah.
stretched his Achilles, so it didn't twist. I kept watching it
But
too
you
to
guys
see
have
exactly
been around
what
a
it
lot
was.
of football. You know, particularly the quarterback, particularly when you're a veteran such as that, they do much to nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
So imagine his body's not ready for much of anything,
Well-
and you go out and put it under that duress.
Well,
Unfortunately, that's what happened.
I've heard a lot of early training camp injuries, soft tissue injuries. So you have gotten now with the Eagles. I've been there and I'm close to the Eagles as far as being able to get over there and watch what they're doing. The Eagles don't practice, and you're going to laugh at this, Mike. The Eagles don't practice more than an hour and 15 minutes, and that's stretching and everything. They got music out there, man. It's crazy
Bro,
the
they
way
got
it is now, Mike.
DJs.
DJ, it's crazy right now the way it is.
Dude, I
in the league.
saw
And
AJ Brown catch a ball, and he ran over to his daughter, and boy, if I would have did that,
and There 2 days in the training camp, there were a couple of players who had soft tissue injuries. How do you get a soft tissue injury? And please don't think I'm an angry old player, but how do you get a soft tissue injury
right.
when you're not even out there for an hour?
Right.
There's no contact. So what's going on? What is going on? So yeah, it attributes to the fact. We can talk about the Eagles again. That's what I'm going to talk about at the end of our segment. But they just didn't put any time in preseason, and that attributes to why they start so slow.
Yeah.
You look at New England. New England, those guys were playing in the preseason. Those guys were ready. But the offense, we're supposed to have, the Eagles are supposed to have this great offense, supposed to have a great offensive line. That's not what happened. Right. That's not what happened Sunday. They played very mediocre. We're supposed to have a great defense. Listen,
without
Mac
that pick
Jones,
six,
Mac Jones threw for more yards.
Without that pick six.
Mac Jones threw for more yards in that game than anybody threw against the defense for the Eagles last year.
Right.
Mac Jones.
Wow.
Mac freaking Jones. Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is good. Mac Jones
is all right. Mac Jones ain't all that. Mac Jones ain't all that.
No,
Mac Jones is okay.
Mac Jones can be a problem.
Mac Jones is okay.
Can be a problem. He can be a problem if you allow him to.
Well,
and I think it was more so. I would say it was 50-50. Matt having the ability to do it, and the Eagles were just laxed.
But we're going to get to that because I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. So let's look at next. Who's the guy, the wide receiver of the week? I think we all can agree on the same guy. The wide receiver of the week. Who is he, Mike? Who's your wide receiver of the week?
Wide receiver of the week?
Yeah.
The obvious choice is the Cheetah down in Miami.
Well, yeah.
But I'm gonna give some props to a guy that was out of football all year last year, and he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is Calvin Ridley? I'm gonna give a shout out to Calvin Ridley for coming back, putting a good game together, for being out of football for a year. That's not easy to do. So shout out to Calvin Ridley. Nothing against Cheetah, but I'm gonna give a one. He's one. I'm gonna give a 1A to Calvin Ridley.
1A. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm the Cheetah. I got the Cheetah because that's just. I had the record. 211 yards. That was back when I played for yardage in the opening game. I had set the record a while ago. And then the Cheetah came and passed it after it got passed by someone else. I forget who I had written down. But someone else surpassed my record. And then the Cheetah came by and took that over. So he is just he's unstoppable, man.
He's unstoppable.
He's not necessarily
have 250 this week.
Well, he's not necessarily a great route runner. He just knows that he's scary because he's so fast. And which
is why he wasn't my top receiver because he's not a great route runner. But anyway, go ahead.
But at the end of the day, Fred, production is what matters the most.
Numbers. The
numbers are what matter the most. It's just like on the golf course.
Numbers are the numbers.
It's like on the golf course. You may have an ugly swing. But if you can get down in par, you get down in birdie, it don't matter. Yeah. It don't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. So the numbers are what make the difference. And he's not an ugly route runner. He's just so fast, and everybody that's trying to cover him knows that he's so fast and that he's going to catch the ball. You got quick guys or fast guys that come into the league and they can't catch the ball. But the Cheetah can catch, man. He's a great pass catcher. He's a great receiver. And I'm looking forward to seeing
the route running. Yeah, we got to work on the route running. Is a little raggedy.
But you know that, Mike, as well as I know it. It's hard to run really crisp, precise routes when you're fast because it's hard to stop, man.
I swear to you, I hate to say this because I think what happens is there are a lot of guys, a lot of commentators say this about quarterbacks, and that he's a great athlete. They never say who's a great quarterback. And the Cheetah is a superb athlete. Mm-hmm. He's superb. This guy probably can play quarterback. He probably can play running back. He probably can play safety. He could probably play 3 or 4 positions, maybe 5 different positions. which is why I think to some degree I'm so religious about what a true bona fide full-blooded wide receiver is. He's just not that guy, but he's the type of guy he's gonna have the numbers.
Right.
He's a the guy, the type of guy, you put him in the backyard, he's gonna have 12 touchdowns. He's that type of guy. But my guy, my who's that guy is it's not the cheetah. And you guys are probably going to laugh, but at the same time too,
I'm laughing already.
The cheetah. Now let me say it. The cheetah. I expect the cheetah to do what he does or do what he did. I expect that. I expect Calvin Ridley to do what he did. I mean, he's been in the league 4 or 5 years.
Who is your guy, man?
Puka Nacua.
Pookie. He say Pookie?
Puka Nacua.
Did you say Pookie?
Hey, a rookie from BYU, 10 receptions, 120, 119 yards.
Right, he plays with the Rams. He's with the Rams.
Let me tell you something. With the Rams,
Pookie.
When you can bring a guy in his first year and he can make the catches that Puka Nacua made, and he can handle himself on the field like that, that's the guy who you're going to continue to bleed into the offense, going to continue to get him involved. Now, we know the cheetah is the cheetah. And as a matter of fact, let me give you a sneak peek. The cheetah is my number one top 5, of course.
Yeah.
But I say this.
You're gonna say the cheetah.
When I look at this kid coming in as a rookie and doing what he did, it's impressive. It's impressive because all he can do is build on that. And I think the Rams, they know that they have something special, and I think they're going to build on it.
Let me ask you both a question.
That's a good point. Hold on, Irv. That's a great point. But you think we're going to let you slide because last week, wasn't in your top 5.
Hello, that's right. He just tried to slip that in there just now. Yeah, he tried to slip that in there, Mike.
And I told you why.
And Pookie wasn't in your top 5.
You can't go back and put him in your top 5.
Played a game yet.
but you can't go back and put. You can't go back and put.
Puka just played his first game.
Well, how can he be? Let me ask you both a question.
What?
Let me ask you both a question.
Puka had 10 reception, 119 yards.
I'm very interested.
It was his first game.
Hearing your opinion. Okay. So, do you two think that Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time?
Hands down, yes.
I think Irvin Fry is the best receiver of all time.
No. I wasn't asking for that response. I want to know, because I heard a conversation the other day that was very interesting, which is something that I think and agree with when it comes to Jerry Rice.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what's interesting? Sometimes we to some degree are biased, and let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I look at guys that have the same attributes or talent that I had,
mm-hmm.
and I say, "Oh, that's my guy." See, I was the type of guy I would block a linebacker. I'd take his head off.
Yep.
Jerry wouldn't do that.
Right.
And of course I would do something. I had a 95-yard touchdown. I had a 75-yard bomb,
mm-hmm.
and I tend to be a little biased and look at guys who would have the whole package, who would block,
gotcha.
Who catch the ball over the middle,
mm-hmm.
get knocked down, and they'll pop right up and they're like, hey, let's go. But
so who is your best top receiver of all time if it's not Jerry? Oh my goodness.
Megatron, man.
Megatron.
Okay.
Well, here's the factors that bring pause to me when it comes to Jerry Rice, because Jerry played, and I think we all would agree that Jerry wasn't the most talented receiver. Obviously, he worked very hard, which
was technically sound.
Yeah, he had to work very hard.
Technically sound.
But Jerry came in the league during a time when an offense was being implemented that was very unique at the time. Defenses struggled to now it's all over the league right now, but defenses struggled with the West
West
Coast
Coast offense.
Frisco was the only team running it at the time. So he came in at a very unique time in his career, very unique time in the NFL. He played with Joe Montana. Okay. And after Joe Montana, he played another, whatever it was, how many years, with Steve Young, another Hall of Fame quarterback. So tell me if there was someone else, let's say Irving Fryer, who played at San Francisco at that time with Steve Young, with Joe Montana, would there be a difference in Irving Fryer's career? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. So,
of course.
Because
everybody would benefit from being in a system
exactly
that does that.
So again, like Fred said,
that shouldn't take away from the fact that his greatness as a wide receiver, because you talk about technician, catch the ball, hard worker. There's no receiver that era or this era who was as technically sound as a receiver in terms of the intricacies of the position. Nobody.
True, but you know what's interesting what's interesting about Jerry's position and other positions like we were in is Jerry had the opportunity.
Right.
The opportunity was the West Coast offense.
Right.
The opportunity was that offense inevitably had an answer for every blitz.
Oh yeah. Well, because when I came to Philadelphia, which was late in my career, I had my best numbers because I was in the West Coast offense. John Gruden. It was a West Coast offense. I did the best. I caught more balls than I did any other time in my career. So
so that's opportunity.
I just think about that. Okay, could I have taken someone else, another receiver that had an above average career, but didn't have the situation that Jerry had? If you take them and put them in the same situation as Jerry, what could they have done?
But that happens to most positions when you take someone that's in an offense or defense that fits them, and they benefit from it. It's not their fault. It's not their fault because when Jerry went later in his career and he went to another team, he didn't have the same offense. He didn't have the same production. That happened.
Right, of course. It made a difference. The West Coast offense made a difference, particularly at that time when nobody else was running it except for them, except for San Francisco. So that was just a question I wanted to ask. Listen,
but like you said, at the end of the day, show me the numbers.
Show me the numbers, right? Yeah, and you're right. But that doesn't make you the best because the numbers.
That's true.
The best that doesn't make you the best because, like you said, there are other variables that play into. Blocking.
That's true. That's why the Cheetah wasn't in my top 10.
Yeah.
Top 5.
But you're judged by the numbers as well, though.
Yes, you are judged by the numbers. Yeah. But the numbers don't mean everything.
That's true.
They don't mean everything.
They shouldn't.
They don't because, no, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there. They don't mean everything because I have better numbers than guys in the Hall of Fame, and I'm not in the Hall of Fame. So the numbers don't mean everything.
Well, when you
now, what you gonna say about that? What you gonna say about that?
Make sure you holler at your Wide Out World crew.
Yeah, Wide Out World crew. Listen, Wide Out.
Well, what we're gonna do? We're gonna put together a campaign.
Oh, we are.
And
there we go. There we go.
Campaign.
What kind of campaign, man?
To put you in the Hall of Fame, we're gonna put together a campaign and try and get you in.
Okay, we're gonna put together a campaign. Are y'all listening to this? David Duckett,
I see.
And Duck, you know what? That's who I would have. David Duckett said, "What about Randy Moss?" That's the cat that I would have chosen, David, as the best receiver ever. I would have chosen Randy Moss.
Ever?
Yeah. Better than
ever.
Better than I would choose him before Jerry Rice. Yeah,
I get
Randy
that.
Moss. Angelo, what's going on? I see you too. Who else is on? Well, we got a bunch of folk watching right now. So listen, we talk a bunch because that's just what we do, and it gets better as we go along. Thursday night, let's move on to Thursday night. We're going to skip over our top, what was it?
Oh,
our top 5 wide receivers.
Our top 5?
Yeah, top of the week.
Well, we know who's number 1. Let's just say who's the number 1 receiver. We know that's Tyreek Hill.
As far as numbers, Tyreek Hill.
The Cheetah.
Okay.
And Justin Jefferson was number 2 as far as numbers.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
See, there we go.
Yeah. So we had the same. So
Yep.
tomorrow night, the Eagles are playing the Vikings in Philadelphia. Anybody who wants to start with the predictions, particularly as far as the receivers are concerned? Mike, you got the floor right now, so I'll let you start. You go ahead and start, bro. I'm not letting you start. You just go ahead and start. You got the floor.
Okay, so Vikings at Philadelphia. Number one, the Eagles didn't impress me at all last week, to be honest with you.
True.
4 yards per pass.
Who did they impress? They impressed nobody last week.
They didn't impress me at all. Lots of field goals. They had a lot of field goals. They only had 1 touchdown offensively.
Right.
And so they should have really did a number on the Patriots, and they didn't.
True.
But this wide receiver duo, they're one of the top duos. I like them. But they're going up against the Vikings, which has a formidable duo as well. Both of them need to get a running game. That's number one. Both of them need a running game. But I'll be honest with you. I'm going to pick the Vikings to win this football game.
So can we talk about what the Vikings did last week too?
Wait a minute. This is my pick. You know what? Because here's the thing. I think the Vikings, when you talk about the quarterback play, I think Cousins is going to give you better quarterback play than Mac Jones did. I believe that the Philadelphia's defense is going to be tested. And I believe the Vikings come out on top 21-19. Philly's not there yet.
Wow.
Something's off. Something's off with Hurts. I don't know whether you said like it's going to take a few weeks, but something's off right now. And I just think that the production that the Vikings had last week against a very good Tampa Bay defense, they had a very good production against a very difficult defense. And I think that'll continue offensively against the Eagles. And I think they come out on top.
Wow.
Yeah,
makes sense. Go ahead, Fred.
You make some great points, Mike. You make some good points. But I think that as the season go on, and when I say as a season, I'm talking about from the first game to the second game. I think the good teams are going to get better. I think that both teams are going to go back and look at their film, and they're going to get better. Now, the issue is who is the better team, regardless of who gotten better, regardless of them getting better, who's the better team. I think the Eagles are the better team. They're playing in Philadelphia, which I think is very important. I think there's no way. I just don't feel like there's no way that the Vikings can come in here and beat Philadelphia in their second game of the season, in their home opener of the season. I think they're going to give them a good game. I think there's going to be a receiver that's implemented, although he's not a receiver, he's a tight end. Gobert,
Goddard.
Goddard,
Yeah.
rather. That. I don't. Did he have a catch against?
He just had one target. No catches. One
target against New England. Last year, he had 82 yards receiving, and the ball was spread out pretty good. With Smith having 80 yards, Watkins and Brown both having 69 yards apiece. I think that they're probably going to be a little more. The offense is going to be a little more conducive to the pass. It's going to be a dry game, which I think was important. Of course, it was a wet game on both sides of the field up in New England. But with them being at home, I think with Goddard being implemented more in the offense and with Cousins being Cousins, I just think that the Eagles are going to win this 27-21. I think Cousins is going to have a pretty good game. Of course, Justin Jefferson is Justin Jefferson.
Right.
He's hand down one of the top 3 in the league. He's going to get his, and I think the addition of Addison from USC is going to free him up a bit, but not as much as it takes to win the game. Okay. I don't see Minnesota coming to Philly, home opener, and beating Philly, 27-21.
Ooh. There's a lot going on, and a lot of it's not good in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think a part of like we all have talked about, a part of the reason why the Eagles didn't play at the level that a lot of people expected them to, the opener, is because the starters, particularly on offense, had not played it down in preseason. And, there's no way, as I said earlier, there's no way in the first game of the season with the speed of the game picking up and it's full contact, there's no way that you can hit the ground running and bounce back and start where you left off the year before, unless you've, gotten some time in preseason. There's no way you can not play in preseason and do that. So I think that's a part of the reason why the offense sputtered the way it did. The defense has 6 new players. They're going to try, or they're going to be behind in terms of, usually when the season starts, the defense is usually ahead of the offense. It takes the offense a little while to catch up and get the machine, well-oiled machine running down the tracks. But I think this year for the Eagles, it will be the defense has got to catch up or they'll be a little behind at the beginning because they got 6 new starters, i.e. Mac Jones throwing for more yards than they had against them in any game last year. So it's going to take a minute for the defense to catch up. But you got injuries to Nakobe Dean, James Bradbury, defense. Blankenship, they said he's injured too. Kenny Gainwell, running back. So there's some key injuries there. You got Justin Jefferson coming in. Is Darius Slay going to switch sides with him and chase him all over the place all day? Okay, Slay may be able to handle him, but Justin Jefferson's going to get his. But then you got to think about, okay, if Slay's running from one side to the next, then who the other corner? It's not Bradbury. Somebody else has got to switch sides and run back and forth. Corners like their side. They like to play their side. So that's another question. The other thing is this. This is my observation from last year with the Bears when Jalen Hurts got hurt. The Bears defense shut down, or they were able to defend very well, the RPO. And what they did was, and this is what I saw New England do, because Jalen kept holding on to the ball. He wasn't handing the ball off to the back in an RPO. When it's an RPO, he has the option of handing the ball off to the back. If the defensive end crashes, he pulls the ball out and he runs. Well, teams are making him one-dimensional, where they're forcing him to keep the ball. So now I'm a defensive player, and my defensive scheme is we're making him, they put 5 guys up on the line, the Patriots did, make him hold the ball. Now that I know he's going to hold the ball, he's going this way, we can beat him there before he gets there. That's what the Bears did, and that's why he got hurt on that one particular play where they smashed him, and it was a good hit. It wasn't an illegal hit. He went head first, and they jumped on him and tackled him and happened to fall on him and hurt his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what's happening now. Bill Belichick is one of the best defensive coordinators, defensive coaches in the history of football. This week, Brian Flores, who was with Belichick, how many years? 8, 9 years? They won 4 Super Bowls together. He is the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. Don't tell me that he and Belichick have not talked this week. Don't tell me they haven't talked. Yes, they have. So you're going to see some of the same stuff against the Eagles defensively that you saw last week that the Patriots put on the field.
So what you saying, Irv?
I can't wait for this. I can't wait to hear this one.
What you saying?
Well, listen, that happened this past week. So it's going to be just as difficult. You can't tell me that the Eagles are going to, from Sunday to Thursday, be able to fix everything. It ain't going to happen. They got 2 days of practice. It's not going to happen. So again, I believe, like you both have said, the Eagles are a better team talent-wise than the Vikings, just like they were against the Patriots. They're going to struggle in this game. They're not going to come out and throw the ball all over the place. Yeah, Goddard's going to get some passes because he didn't get any.
Because they're home.
But they're going to win the game, but they're barely going to win the game. It's not going to be like people here in Philadelphia want. They're going to come out and they're going to turn on fire, be set on fire, and they're going to just look like the Eagles of old. No, it's not this. That's not going to happen because that doesn't happen in 2 days.
Well, you know what's interesting as well, when I look at the game last year against Minnesota, and Cousins, Jefferson was there, of course, and they had a pretty good offense.
Yeah. No, Cousins plays well, particularly.
Let me tell you something. Jefferson doesn't play well in Philadelphia. You know what his numbers were last year?
He
7 for 48.
right. Yeah, he didn't do much last year. But Cousins plays well in the spotlight. He plays well Thursday night games, Monday night games. He has a history of playing well, showing up and doing well. So it's going
You got to score. What's your score?
do I score? They're gonna win by 1. They're gonna win by 1.
But win by a stroke.
The Eagles are gonna win by
Like
1.
Dolphins, gonna win by 1. What's
The
the
Eagles
score?
gonna win by 1 because you only have to win by 1. It's gonna be a nail biter. It's gonna be tough. They're not gonna come out.
You can't give us numbers. I want numbers. Give me a score.
21-20.
Okay.
21-20.
All right.
All right.
That's. I'll be at the game. I'll go
That's
live.
why you was waffling. That's why you was waffling. They didn't want to give us the prediction because you're gonna be at the game, and Philly fans might get you.
No, Philly ain't gonna mess with me, Doc. They can't mess with me. I'm gonna go live on Instagram when they win by 1.
Okay.
Y'all
So
look
I got him by 6, and Mike got him losing.
They ain't gonna lose, Mike. They're not gonna lose. I know you
I ain't
want them to
scared to
lose.
say it.
I know you want them to lose.
Mike, wait. Let's do what Mike did last year. Mike, are you sure you
Yeah,
would
you
like
would
to
change
think
your
about
mind.
what you just said?
That's how I did you last week, Fred. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I did you last week, Fred.
I'm
They are
sticking with
playing
it.
in
I'm sticking
Philadelphia.
with it.
You have a chance
To change your mind,
to
repent,
change your mind.
Sir,
to repent.
I'm staying with
You have
what
a
I
chance
had.
to change your mind.
Lord, I'm gonna pray
I'm
right
staying
now.
with it.
Lord, don't let the Vikings win. We have to come back here next week and deal with Mike. Don't let them.
Oh, y'all gonna hear it.
Oh yeah, I know. Don't let the Vikings win, because I sure don't want to have to deal with this cat next week.
It's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be
ugly.
real ugly. Oh my
It's
gosh.
it's gonna be ugly.
We just gonna give him the show, let him do the show by himself next week. If they win, we're not even gonna come on. You just do the show, and all you're gonna say the whole time, "I told you so. I told you so."
Yep. And
Unbe-
then I'll have
unbeknownst-
people call in, and then we'll just talk.
We're
Unbeknownst,
gonna call next week. If they win, it's gonna be Michael Timpson's world.
listen, Mike, you act like you never played for the Eagles, like you just
It has
anti-Eagles.
nothing to do with that.
Something
I'm
ain't
a-
right.
I'm a
Something's not right with
unbiased-
Mike. With
Wait, I'm an
Eagles.
unbiased reporter. See,
Unbiased.
as a journalist, you have to be unbiased.
Unbiased reporter.
To get your professional credentials, you have to be unbiased.
Mike,
know what?
Mike,
And
Mike,
be able
let me ask you this, Mike. Can I ask you a question?
Professional credentials.
Who do you want to win the Super Bowl this year?
San Francisco 49ers.
He just said that earlier. Yeah, he said the 49ers. He like McCaffrey.
Oh, love him.
Play that funky music, white boy.
That's a bad man.
That's a bad man.
So now
No,
we know
McCaffrey-
where you stand, Mike.
McCaffrey is a
Yes,
bad
sir.
dude. He is a bad dude.
Why though? Why San Francisco? Just because they're the best team?
I think they're balanced. I think they're very well balanced.
No.
And the Eagles aren't balanced?
Hold on. Time out. Who do you want to win, regardless of who's balanced?
Shanahan.
Who do you want to win?
I think he's a great.
He said
offensive mind.
Shoudahan.
The quarterback. The
And wait a minute, the Eagles aren't a balanced team?
Huh?
The Eagles are not a balanced team in your opinion?
It's hard to repeat. Everybody has their number. It's hard to
But
repeat.
no,
I
you
just don't-
said
so let
you
me-
want them to win because you're a
Mike.
balanced team. The Eagles aren't a balanced team?
Wait, what is
Hold
this?
on,
Gang
hold
up
on.
Mike? What's up?
Yeah, it's gang up on Mike right now.
No, because here's the deal. Mike seems to be given a reason why he wants them to win because they're a balanced team. Who's the team that you would want to see win,
Regardless if they're balanced or not.
regardless of?
I was just giving you reasons. I just think that there
I
are good
just asked you a question. Asked you a question.
Do you have a
Who
favorite
do
football
you
team?
want to see win?
Do you have a favorite football team?
No, I don't have a favorite football team.
Okay.
I'm an
So
unbiased journalist.
he's a
I'm an
biased
unbiased
journalist.
journalist.
Yeah, he's a
I'm
biased.
an
Listen,
unbiased journalist.
we got to get out of here. It's 8:06. Steve Andrews,
I'm
thanks
an
for being
unbiased
on.
journalist.
Florence is all the way out in the state of Washington, y'all. Shout out to Florence. Donald Hunter, what's going on? Vinny Capriati, David Duckett, Mose Knows. I see you, bro. Angelo Ortiz, I'm sorry. Mose Knows, TD Maker's still on. TD Maker. touchdown maker.
Stephen
Steve
Baker, the
Baker, yeah.
touchdown maker.
Stu Winrow, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being on today. Y'all, we got a bunch of folk. Listen, thanks for
Dude.
following us, y'all. We'll be here
Oh,
every week
we
doing the same
need to
thing.
have a
Maybe
TV
they
show,
should tell us
bro.
who's gonna win.
Richard Melton, you gonna text me who's gonna win? Richard Melton. My mama is watching.
gonna win?
Serena's watching. Keenan Harmon's watching. Clifton Freeman's watching. Lewis is watching. Warren Hutchinson is watching. Shout out to all of y'all. We're gonna be back here next week. Same thing, fussing and not cussing, but fussing at each other and with our opinions, because we're all opinionated right here on Wideouts World. I'm Irving Fryer.
Yeah.
That's Michael Timpson. And that's Fred Barnett. We're
Yes,
in the
sir.
house, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Look for us right here. Millions, the Fryer Place. Actually, we're starting our own YouTube channel called the Wideouts World. We'll let you know when that's airing or when it's live. We got to get 100 viewers, y'all. Go to YouTube. Search Wideouts World. Wideouts World. We need 100 subscribers before we can go live on YouTube. So
Let's
go to
do it.
YouTube, search
Let's
Wideouts
do it.
World, and subscribe.
Like,
all right?
click,
So we can go live on
share,
Wideouts World
and all that stuff.
and sharing all that stuff. Y'all, we'll see y'all next week. We out of here.
Oh.